is tarot card reading forbidden? You see, tarot card reading, the problem isn't the cards. The problem is many people get very influenced by this, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, it's really interesting actually. I don't know if I've mentioned this previously. Imagine you wrote a book, or imagine somebody wrote a book about you. Right, now in this book they said that, so let's just say they wrote a book about me, but I'm giving you this as a thought experiment, so this is about you. And somebody said that, oh, in this book they write that, oh, the future you contacted this person, traveled in time, and told him that, look, you are to become in the future, let's say it's me, I'm to become a mufti, and I will end up giving lessons and doing live Q&As and doing these kind of things and teaching people, and I will be known for strange opinions. Or it might say in your book that, you know, you become a teacher or an accountant or a doctor, or you run a company, or you work in a shop, or there's something about you, or you decide to get married late, or you decide to get married early. Now imagine it mentions these things. Now you read this book. Now by reading it, you end up thinking, like, I know inspired is a strong word, but that kind of triggers your actions to do it. Like, imagine I read and I think, well, oh, that's interesting, a mufti. And now I do go and become a mufti. Or you do read that and you think, get married early. And then you actually do get married early. Or late. What I'm trying to say is, which triggered which, and by that understanding, could you lend some legitimacy to this person saying that, oh, in the future the person came and told him that you would be doing this? Or imagine he never said the future something, he just said, I prophesize this. But you reading the prophecy, it thereby triggers your subconscious to do it. Now this isn't just, by the way, what I'm saying is not just a load of hot air. If you think of like H.G. Wells and his book on the atom bomb. Now, during the early 20th century, when atomic things were becoming quite the vogue, they were becoming the thing. Everybody was into the future is going to be all about this kind of the atomic stuff, the structures. When uranium was kind of really being explored and its facilities were coming forward, and the decades that led into the kind of research, what does uranium kind of, what can it do, and what kind of properties does it have, and how come it leaves this kind of glow, and why is it so unstable? And you see, during this time and in the run-up to World War II, during this time, Wells writes a book in which he describes that the people in the future have what he terms an atom bomb. Now, when he's writing this book, nobody has an atom bomb. This idea, I mean, I don't know, but documented, this idea doesn't exist. Documented. I'm not saying no human may have had the idea. Obviously, he's had it. He's writing it, as a story. But he's writing this just as a tale of fiction. He says that in the future, atomic things are so whatever in use, and everybody's using atomic nuclear energy, atomic energy, and humans have what is called an atom bomb. This book then influences the readers. So people like Szilard, who read this, become to think, they are influenced to believe that the Germans, not only can this be made, but they think the Germans are actually onto making an atom bomb. So Szilard, who lacks a certain amount of influence, he gets in touch. He wants to warn the Americans and tell them that they should be doing something, because if the Nazis develop this atom bomb, the world is screwed. So what he comes up with, like he doesn't have any influence on the president of the US or anything, but he reaches out to Einstein, because as a fellow scientist, who then writes to the White House, triggering, you know, the whole Los Alamos and the whole kind of project, that the Manhattan Project that they set up to make the atom bomb. It then later emerges that Germany had no plan and had no atom bomb. There wasn't no lab, and there was no experiment, and there was no project. Szilard tries to stop the American government from going ahead, but he's obviously sidelined. He protests, and the Americans go ahead and continue to create what is the world's first atom bomb, and then that leads to them needing to test it. And in reaction to Pearl Harbor, you have Hiroshima, and then a few days later, Nagasaki. Now, the whole thing, like what I'm trying to say is, if you take this story of what Wells wrote about the atom bomb, he wrote it as a matter of fiction. But that fiction changed the world as we know it today. The entire world will never be the same now, because some people reading that believe that, oh, actually we could make an atom bomb. And so this is one of those amazing paradoxes where fiction is influencing reality, which is influencing fiction, which is influencing reality. And it's amazing. I mean, it's so amazingly, you know, it's so kind of overwhelming to think about, but it is how this world, I mean, just think about that, people. Think about it. So with tarot cards, I know I kind of went off track, but what I was trying to say is, if you read, like if they tell you something like you're gonna die, or somebody close to you will die, or somebody, you know, or something tragic, that might lead you to creating a very dangerous mindset in which you might actually become self-destructive, if you understand what I'm saying.